Hello friends, you're Lonesome Gamer, and I'm playing Dungeon Degenerates, Hand of Doom. So until now things went pretty smooth. We just went to the crossroads, grabbed the Soothsayer's head, no encounters until now, no fighting, everything's perfect. Okay, so our idea was to follow the pleading of the head and just bring him to his home, which is the stone circle down here. Only question is, how do I want to get there? Well, basically there are two. Well, we might have three options. First one would be we could go to the East Bridge, then through the Witchwood, Witch Hill, Hex Fork, and then here. That is, the Witch Hill is a dangerous location. The Witch Woods are also not so easy, and these areas are all guarded by the law. So there is also a good chance to meet some law enemies there. I'm not sure how dangerous they are compared to the other enemies. From what I understand, the main difference between the law and the other monsters is that we can try to bribe law monsters, and we can surrender, and then we're gonna get captured, and but we're not dead. But I think that the campaign is probably also over and we are defeated. The other option would be to go to the East Bridge, then travel downriver to Dusk Falls, then the Black Tree here, and then we continue here. But that is also, it's expensive. We got to pay for the trip downriver. Otherwise we could go here to the graveyard, Fishmonger Camp, and then do a lake travel from the Fishmonger Camp to Dusk Falls, which is, I think, free. But it seems to be the longest way. Maybe I'm gonna take away I'm considering to take my way. Witchwood is clearly the most dangerous one. A 5 and a 4, that's a problem. On the other hand, if we travel through there, we also have the option to reduce the danger levels there, because if we fight a battle there and we win it, we can reduce the danger level in the area, and that is obviously a good thing. And usually I'm not too much afraid of fighting battles. Actually, I forgot to place some token here. Gosh. Okay, so I think I'm actually going to go that way. So I'm going to force march to the East Bridge. Going to roll 2 dice there against my constitution. And the first player, the Bloodsport Brawler, is fine. Jack Slasher. He sucked. So that means he takes a fatigued marker. It's always, gosh, maybe over here. There's so many markers, that kind of sucks. Okay, so that simply means he's not allowed to do another force march until we rest. And then the corpse burner And he's also fine. Okay. So let's check out what happens here. This area belongs to the Witchwood, so we have a danger level of 4. So the odds are pretty high that we'll have to fight here. And yes, indeed, it says here, clouds of ash are seen on the horizon, kicked up by hordes of demons marching across the blasted heath. Okay, so we gotta place a token on the blasted heath, which is up here, so it rises to 5. And we are outside, so that means the number is 2, which is now clearly below the danger number of 4, so we have to face the encounter and draw monster cards. So this first, the book here, that shows that we're going to have to draw an encounter card. In addition to that, we got to draw 4 monster cards because we're 3 adventurers, and then the number here corresponds to 4. Okay, so let's do that. First we got to draw an encounter from the lowlands deck because it's still the blue area. And sometimes these encounters don't say resolve immediately, sometimes they do. If they don't say it, we have to resolve them after the combat. In this case, we got to do it before the combat. So we have a void ceremony here. Your enemies enact a dark ritual to contact something from the other side, conjuring forth a doorway to the spirit world and the shimmering realms beyond. Okay. At the end of each combat round, place a number of wounds on this card equal to the total experience value of monsters in this space, not including monsters that are dazed or hexed. At the start of the combat round, if there are 5 or more wounds on this card, place a Void Gate counter in your space. At the start of a combat round, if there are 13 or more wounds on this card, search the epic monster deck and discard pile for the Serpent Lord, and it joins the find this round. Then remove all counters from this card and discard it. Okay, so let's see. Okay, first we gotta draw now monsters, and we gotta draw 4 of them from the lowland monster deck. Fine. Now let's have a look what we got. A worm corpse, a cultist, a goat brute, and a demonic servant. Okay. So this up here is the experience value. We'll get these experience points if we kill the guy, and it's also important for the card. Below is a gold value, so that's the gold we get if we kill it. This is now, here the lower ones are the combat abilities, and the one above, the rally, is an arrival ability. This is the only monster with an arrival ability in this group. So we got to check what that actually says. And I definitely need some better... that's okay, I mean... Okay, we got rally. If no icons are listed, draw a card from the monsters deck and add it to the fight. Okay, great. Establish this new monster's target and resolve each of its arrival abilities other than rally. If icons are listed, and that is, I think, not the case, nope. Okay, so basically all we do is we simply add a second monster to the fight. And that is a corpse feeder. Okay? And this guy is an animal lover, so he kind of likes this thing, and it's gonna be a little painful for him to kill it. There's an ambush here. So what we got to do is, if we went there in a bold stance, and we did because we did a force march, this guy might ambush us. So all of us have to do now a perception test, and all the heroes that failed will be stunned, which is pretty bad for the beginning of the turn. So this guy has a 6, and he didn't make it, so he is already stunned. That means he's not allowed to use power dice during the first fight round. Okay, the second guy has also only a 6, and he also didn't make it. So he's also stunned. Gosh. And you can see here, we have here different slots, and some slots, they all indicate when the condition will end. So this goes to the end of the fight round, that to the end of the fight, and this goes to the next recovery action or roll. And the corpse burner has a 7, so maybe he's a little more lucky, and he actually is. So he's not stunned. Very good. So now we got to check who they are targeting. And this is shown here on the left, on this black area. Now this guy attacks the one who has the most wounds. Okay, at the moment nobody has any wounds, so we can decide here. This guy attacks the one with the highest morale value, which is him. The cultist will also attack the one with the highest morale value. And then we have the worm corpse. That goes to the guy with the highest constitution. So they all go against him, except this one. And I'm going to give that one, I think, to Jack Slasher. This is not going to be that easy because we are stunned now. That means no power dice, except for this guy. Now he's the one with the highest perception that allows him to go first during a fight round. So what he will do is, he can now choose to attack any monster. Usually you can only attack the monsters that you are engaged with, but because he isn't engaged with any monster, he can... Oh, actually, I forgot the demonic servant. Holy shit. Okay, that goes to the player with the highest magic, which is going to be him. Ah, shit. Okay, anyway, so he can now attack. And we got to ask ourselves with his grave shuffle, and we got to ask ourselves whom we're going to attack. Probably the guy who is the most easy to kill and makes the most problems. The cultist, for example, is a problem because he has a summon ability, which means if he's still out there at the end of this turn, he will summon another monster. And that's a problem. So we got to try to kill him. 4, these are his life points. He has no armor, so if we do 4 damage with our shovel, we manage to kill him. Okay. So this guy is not stunned. So that means he's allowed to roll power dice. Okay. So how do you do combat? Well, we got 3 sorts of dice here. You're always allowed to roll 2 attack dice and 2 defense dice. Now in this specific case we don't need the defense dice because nobody actually targets us. There's no monster here with us. So attack dice are fine for us, 2 of them. And in addition, we can roll a power dice. Now we can choose if we want to do an assault or if we want to do a guard action. We don't want to do a guard action because nobody attacks us. This is more the defensive play style. So we can do an assault action. And we now simply roll our dice. And we want to roll equal or less than our strength, because we attack with this weapon and it says strength melee. Okay, our strength is 8, so we want to roll 8 or less, and if we do that we hit. So let's see, and we did. Okay, we rolled a 7 and this power die is a 3. So what that means is we hit and then we do damage equal to our highest attack die. Because we are in assault mode, we could choose instead to use our power die as the value for damage. But only if the attack hits. If the attack misses, if we would have rolled above 8, then it's a failure, no matter what the power die shows. The power die just indicates a possible damage. So for example, if we would have rolled a 1 and a 2 here, the attack would be a hit, but we would only do 2 damage because this would be our higher attack dice. Then we could say, okay, instead I take the power die and I do 3 damage. But this is a perfect roll, a 6 and a 1, so that means we did a hit and we can do 6 damage because this is our highest attack dice. Now because the cultist only has 4 life points, the guy is killed. Pretty awesome. So we simply take the card. I'm gonna turn it like this to indicate that I managed to kill this guy. So he's not going to summon anyone at the end of the turn. Okay. So then it's the others, and they have the same perception, so we can now choose which one goes first. I'm going to go from left to right. I'm not allowed to use power dice. So in this case, it usually would not make a big difference if I go in assault mode or in defense or in guard mode, because this only affects the power dice. However, I have here the foe killer. Let me see if I have anything with an experience of 2 or more. Sadly, I don't have that. So, yeah. I mean, I could give the corpse feeder to this guy. Maybe I should do that. Maybe that would be more clever. But I should have done that before. I'm gonna, maybe that was a mistake. But okay, it's too late now. I'm gonna continue now. I could have done that. But then again, he would have sit there now with 3 people, which is pretty dangerous for him. It's already a problem. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna simply roll 2 attack dice and 2 defense dice now, because we are attacked, so defense matters. And if we want to hit again, we need to be below. We can choose here actually if we want to go strength or agility. Strength is better. So you know what? I'm going to go in assault mode and use my spike gauntlet. And then I can roll against strength, and I got a 9 there. And defense is always agility. So this is an 8 in this case. So I just can hope that I roll below 8 here. Okay, that was actually a pretty good roll. That was a very good roll. We rolled exactly a 9, and that is a 6, which is also below 8, so very, very good. What happens is, again, oh, I should have said whom I'm going to attack, but I actually have to attack this guy because he comes with the annoy ability, which means I have to fight the worm corpse. Okay, so he's the one I'm going to attack. And that means, because I rolled a 6 and a 3, I do 6 damage. And that kills this guy. He's got a 5 plus 1 armor. So with a 6 I do 5 damage, which is exactly enough to kill him. Cool. And I don't do any damage to the goat brood. But now I have to defend myself. These two guys. This one has an attack value of 4, meaning he does 4 damage. This guy also has an attack value of 4, but he got the Berserk ability, and somehow I have a feeling that Berserk doesn't do as good. Yeah, the monster gains +2 attack on its first round in a fight. Okay. So, we got a defense roll of 4 and 2, which is below my agility. That means I'm now allowed to use the highest die here against every monster's attack. So, the 4 of the vermin corpse are cancelled out. No damage from this guy. The goat brood still does 2 damage because of the Berserk ability. So that means I'm going to lose 2 life points. But still, I think I can be pretty happy with this result. Because in the next turn, I only have 1 enemy and I'm going to have my power die, which will be very helpful. That means now the stunt is removed here. Okay, I realized I made a mistake here. The annoy ability doesn't mean I have to attack this guy. Instead, it means that I'm not allowed to attack him with my aggressive action. If I attack him, I have to go into a guard action or a mode. So that means actually the attack would have been necessarily gone against him. So I don't kill him, but instead I do 5 damage against him, which is still pretty good. But I will have to face both of these guys in the next turn. Okay, and eventually it's Jack Slasher. And now the taunt ability is the one which forces you to attack that specific guy. So that's what I'm going to do. And yeah, I also don't have a power die, so I'm simply go with an aggressive stance. So I might be able to use my Bloodlust if I'm lucky. Let's see what happens. This is a 7. That is good enough. That's a hit, and it's also a very successful defense, so I'm really lucky here. 5 defense means I don't take any damage. 6 means I can easily kill the demonic servant. Pretty cool. In addition now, I can use the Bloodlust. Make a magical test when you destroy an enemy. If you pass, you become invigorated and focused. So let's do that. And yeah, my magic is 7, so I was successful here, which is pretty awesome. So that means, and by the way, this one should go here, and I can remove that one now because the fight round is over. Okay, and it means I got to place a invigorated and a focus that gives me +1 perception and +1 strength. Very useful here. And now we got to count. We have 3 monsters left, which means The morale value of these suckers altogether is a 4. So actually, there we go. We have now 4 wounds on this void ceremony at the end of the first combat round, which is okay. I'm pretty sure we can avoid facing this super monster at the end if things continue like this. Now I want to continue. Let me see. Basically, let's see. Okay. I want to get rid of the goat brute here, I think. That means this guy will again attack with a power die, of course. That wasn't too great, but it's okay. It's a 3 damage basically, which is going to be enough to destroy the goat brute. Very good. And then we continue with him. There's only the worm corpse left. He can now go in a defensive stand, and he has now a power die, which is very, very useful. So let's hope for the best here. I'm gonna go with melee here because I'm in my guard mode. And that sucked. Okay, and the thing is now, my defense was a disaster. Because I'm in a defensive stand, I'm allowed now to use 1 power die for each monster. And in this case I only have a single power die. So I can only use this one, but luckily there is only 1 monster. And I can place this guy here and in this way avoid 1 damage, because it's a 1. So I was really unlucky. If it would have been a 2 or 3, it would have been clearly better. That means I take 3 more damage from this guy. 1, 2, 3. That is painful. And but at least my attack was a success. So I do 4 hits, which means I do 3 damage in the end. Okay, that's something. And here, same thing, defensive mode. I mean, I might consider using the special ability of the skinning knife, but then I have to go into a more aggressive mode, and I don't think I want to do that. However, it's hard to tell, man. Yeah, I don't think I want to do that. I'm going to play this defensively. I think this is very strong. Oh boy, that was bad. But now you can see the big advantage of a defensive stance. I fucked up my defense completely, but I got a power die of 6. I can use that die to block this guy, so I don't take any damage. My attack was also a miss, so if I would have done that now aggressively, yeah, I would have lost completely and I would have lost 4 wounds. This way, nothing happened. Okay, this guy. We are at the end, by the way, of this round, so that means 3 additional markers or 3 additional wounds are added to the void, which means now a void gate opens in this space here, the east bridge. Basically we can use that to travel into another dimension and all, but I don't know if that is something I really want to do at that point. It's pretty hard and pretty risky, and yeah, I don't think I want to do that now. The corpse feeder, again, is that true? No, it's not true. The corpse burner starts. This is Jack's, yeah, the corpse burner starts. So he's gonna attack the worm corpse. I think that makes the most sense. And yeah, he's gonna do that in an aggressive way again. Okay, that was a miss. The Bloodsport Brawler. He does it defensively. He has to. That's an 8. Let me see, we got it's against our agility. Yeah, that's fine. That's pretty cool. That kills the guy. However, we have a 9 here, which is not good enough. And again, only a 1 on our power die. So we take another 3 damage. That guy was hit pretty hard, so I'm gonna have to rest with him, try to heal a little bit. But at least we managed to kill the guy here, which is something. And now, last in this combat round, it's the Jack Slasher, and he goes also defensively. No need for risks here, and that was a disaster anyway. Okay, so luckily, again for me, this is a 5, although I completely fucked up my defense roll, no damage here. And I did a 5 and a 2 on my attack, which is pretty good, so I do 3 damage against the corpse feeder. Okay. So that's the end of this round. So we got to place another 2 here, because this monster brings us 2. And this time I want to make it in a different order. This guy will go last, because he's got the lurker ability, so he's allowed to do that. Although he has the highest perception, he can, which he actually does not have anymore. They both have the same perception now because he is focused. Which means that they both have to go first. Now, I wonder how much damage I can do with this guy. The thing is, I want to try to get a luck. To get this, I have to kill the corpse feeder. So, yeah. Okay, I'm going to use then... I don't know if it makes more sense to attack with him or with... I'm going to go with him first. Okay. Again, in a defensive position, obviously. I don't take any damage, but I do 4. Which is 2, which is just 1 short. Now that is kind of bad luck. So I do 2 more damage. Interesting question is now... Well, I don't know. I think we can simply finish him off. Which one? He's going to go next. So he's going to roll... He can now use his foe... Can he? Yeah, he actually can use his foe killer ability now. Because this is a value of 2. A experience value of 2. So you can now go in an aggressive mode, plus 1 damage and 1 point of armor will be ignored. So that looks pretty promising. Oh boy, but not like this. No hits at all. And in the end it's him. And yeah, let's see what we get here. That is a 4, which means 2 damage on him. That's going to be enough to kill the corpse feeder, and we managed to win the battle. And also here the big monster didn't show up. So let's see now. We get now our experience and maybe some loot, and of course also gold. 1 experience, 1 gold for these guys. Then we're going to roll a loot roll, and if we roll higher or equal, no, that's wrong. If we roll equal or less than the experience we gained, we are allowed to draw a loot card. Oh, look at that. That is awesome. That's a 1. So we are indeed allowed to take a loot card. Okay, see what that is. It says Scrog of Burden. Oh boy. This ally may carry up to 2 heavy items. This is awesome. You may equip these as if you had been carrying them, but you must be able to carry them to do so. Once they are equipped, you are carrying them. Yeah, I think I added. Okay, so basically we can simply carry 2 additional items, which is great. Problem for him, though, is we killed a filth creature. And because he's the animal lover, we got to do a morale test. I hope I won't forget that. So let's see. And we fucked that up. So that means I become demoralized. That is bad, because moral is important for healing. And I'm the one wounded the most, so that means, yeah, I become now demoralized. And that was bad luck for me. Oh boy. Okay, then this guy also gets 1 wound and one experience and 1 gold. So they both go here. I'm going to roll a die, and if I roll a 1, I get a loot card. And this time it's a 2. This guy, the corpse burner, he gets even 4 experience and 1, 2 gold. So if he rolls 4 or less, he gets a loot card. And that is a 3. So yes, indeed, he is allowed to draw a loot card. And that is a mysterious map. Okay, so if we are in a town or if we rest, it says draw a danger card, but do not resolve it. If the card shows a location, place an explored counter on that location and on up to 1 path adjacent to it. If the card shows a territory, place an explored counter on any 2 paths in that territory. If the card doesn't show a location or territory, discard it and draw another. Once you have placed counters, discard this card. Well, okay, I mean, that might help us to explore some paths, and that might then allow us to travel a little quicker. So, then these cards are all discarded. And it's the end of the turn. Well, actually, I forgot. Because I killed something in here, I'm allowed to reduce the Witchwood danger level by 1. So this is now only a 3. Okay, so because, I'm not sure if I want to continue moving here. The Bloodsport Brawler is in a pretty bad shape, so I actually think I want to rest. I'm a guy, I want to play it safe, even if it takes longer. I don't have a feeling that I have to rush at that specific moment, so I think I want to rest. From what I understand, the Void has no additional it adds no additional meaning or symbols or whatever to this space. The only thing I could do, I could try to do a void travel, but there is no reason for me to do that. And I think I have to be I don't know, I might have to be a specific magical character or something to do that. So we want to do a rest action instead. And that means we have to do recovery rolls. And we're going to do these recovery rolls against our morale. Sadly, I'm demoralized, which means I only have a 7. Oh, and I didn't do that. Usually I would be able to recover my whole morale. So 8, I could recover 8 wounds, but because I messed up this roll, I can only recover half of it. So I go down to 4, but that is okay. That I'm fine with that. And because it said here recovery, I'm allowed to remove this thing now. Okay. Sadly, though, these guys also have to remove these. They don't have to do any recovery rolls, but they also hang out there and kind of recover. I wonder if I should try to improve him. He's in a pretty good situation here, so maybe I want to do that. He has a lot of experience points. So I want to give the corpse burner the ferocious charge. He's got a strength of 8, so he can do it. As a quick action, if it is your first turn after entering a fight, you may roll an additional power die when using a strength attack this turn. So that could be pretty good. Of course, if there are too many monsters with me, it might leave me pretty vulnerable. So I gotta be a little careful when using that. But still, I think I will try this one. So that will cost me 8 points. And then we have to draw. We're done with the rest action, and we got to draw a new danger card here because, well, we got here lawlessness, banditry, nightmarish visions plague the populace of once prosperous pigskin port. Okay, so here now the city level is reduced by 1, so it goes to 2. And I think I'm safe. This thing has to be less or equal, right? Does that make sense? No, it has... No, it's the other way around. Fuck. I always forget it. I cannot remember that. I gotta write it on every single card, man. Shouldn't be so hard to remember that. I mean, otherwise, I think it has to be higher or equal. Damn. No, the value of my danger card is equal to or less than the danger level. So that means I'm safe here because the danger level is 3. Okay, very good. So let's do one more round. I can now force march to the Witch Hill from here along this road. So I'm going to do that. And I'm then going to check if I'm fatigued or not. And after that we'll see what happens. So no one is fatigued. And now we're allowed to draw, or we have to draw another card. Broken fishing nets, missing children, and strange webbed prints in the mud. Panic the remote community at Gutfish Fort. Okay, so this goes up 1 space. And so it's reduced actually. The city level is reduced by 1 there. Okay, we're gonna have to fight because this time the danger level is 5. This is a 3. But we don't have to fight a law enemy because only the ways adjacent to Witch Hill are law spaces in this scenario. Witch Hill itself is not. So that means I'm simply going to draw In this case, you can see we don't have to draw an encounter because there's no symbol here, not like here, for example. So we got to draw 4 monsters here. A Grave Creeper with the Berserk ability, a Pumpkinhead. Oh, maybe we can kind of meet and hoard. A Vampire Duchess. She comes with a curse. That might become a problem. And the last one is a Wolfman. So, the curse. This monster's target must make a magical test. If you fail this test, lose 1 luck and you become demoralized. Shit. Okay. So first, the Wolfman. He goes to the guy with the lowest perception. Okay, that's one of these guys. Gotta figure that out. The Vampire Duchess to the guy with the highest constitution. That's him. Highest morale, the Pumpkinhead. That is also him. He's got a lot of fighting to do because he has the best stats. Highest perception, well, that would be him actually. Okay. So, and there we can make a choice. Yeah, I think I want to give that to him, the Wolfman. Lycanthrope. Yeah, I think that's the best I can do. Okay, I'm not going to show everything in detail here. I think that doesn't make a lot of sense. If things get critical, we'll come back here. Okay, let me give you a short impression anyway. This guy missed his curse, so that means the 1 luck is lost, and he is demoralized. This thing has a drain of 2, so that means after each combat round, it will be able to recover 2 wounds. So therefore, I'm going to go for the Pumpkinhead first here, and I'm going to do it obviously in a defensive manner. I missed my attack, and my defense just a 3, so I take here 2 wounds. Okay, well, okay, I think we see where the problems are here. The Wolfman. Also, let's do it defensively here. Okay. I missed my defense. Luckily I got a 4 here, so it's only 1 wound that I take. What about the attack? The attack was pretty solid, I think. Yeah, sorry, I do 5 damage. That is very good. The guy takes a lot of wound. He's a tough guy though, so he will still be alive. Wait a minute, that's a little bit too much. Anyway, next turn, I'll probably be able to kill him. So it seems that pretty much everything is now under control here. Just want to check one more thing in the rules. If players have the same perception, can they actually fight? I guess they can choose then who goes first. I'm not absolutely sure, but I think so. So we managed to kill the Wolfman and the Gravekeeper. So that means now we can I'm gonna take one turn. No, I'm fine. These guys can now help with the attack against these monsters. So he's gonna go with his shovel, trying to smash the pumpkin head. Oh, actually, I could remove these. I don't use these. And he missed. Same applies to him. Okay. That was a success. So he does 4 damage, which is sadly not enough to kill it. So the Bloodsport Brawler, she has to fight still both of them, this time in a defensive manner, obviously. We can only defend 3 from everyone, which means we lose 2 more wounds. Boy, this is tough. She does 3 damage. That means she kills the pumpkin head. Okay. Now, together we want to try to kill the Vampire Duchess. She has that drain of 2, which is pretty rough. But on the other hand, 3 people, I think we might be able to do it. Let's start with her. I mean, it would be great if I could... Oh, actually, I forgot to make my roll here. No, I can't. No, that's not true. Okay, I'm going to start with him, actually. Okay, that is a... Well, he does 6 damage anyway, which is pretty awesome. So she only has 2 left. And... yeah, let's allow him to get the experience this time. It doesn't help if he does it and then can get focused at everything, because we got to rest again because he took so many wounds. So I guess, yeah, that's okay. Let's allow him. And that looks pretty good. He killed her, very good. So that means he gets 3 experience, 2 gold. And will he be able to draw a loot card? That is a 6. Nope. 2 experience for him. No gold. And if he rolls a 2 or less, and he does, he is allowed to draw a loot card. Very good. What do we find here? Marsh moose. Moss, okay. The primitive swamp dwellers of the wetlands chew or smoke this spongy fungus to induce sacred visions. Discard this card and make a magical test. If you fail, you become blinded and fatigued. If you pass, you become blinded and exalted. Well, okay, we'll see how good that is. His magic is not too bad, so okay. I mean, we can also sell it, do some drug dealing here. This guy gets $1 and one of these, and he's not allowed to loot. Okay, that's it for now. We can reduce the danger level here by 1. I'm considering resting here. But I'm not sure about that. Yeah, it makes sense. Okay, so I think I'm done with this video, and yeah, on our way to the stone circle. So hope to see you in the next video or on lonesomegamer.com. Bye.